Hi everybody, welcome back. Stay tuned and I'm going to show you how to bring out your badass unicorn. Everybody has a little bit in them and we're going to find yours. So, welcome back all of my wonderful, great, amazing subscribers. Welcome back people who haven't subscribed yet. If you want to be great and amazing, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Today we're going to be talking about narcissism. This word, you hear it, it's just a hot word these days to label on anybody who takes too many selfies, who's arrogant, well, you know what I'm saying. The word is out there and being used all the time. I want to focus mostly today on malignant narcissism and find out, could you be one? And if you are, there is some help for you. There are. If you recognize yourself in this, there is help. Don't feel lost and helpless. There's help. And if you're living with one, love one, I've got some help for you as well on how to deal with them. So, what is narcissism? So first I would like to point out that we are all born with a self-preservation instinct. So we're all a little bit narcissistic at different times. Some more so than others. There's certainly varying degrees, but we all have a little bit of narcissism. Even you people out there who are chronically depressed, always down on themselves, think that they're worthless, that they're hopeless, that they can't do anything. Listen to those thoughts. It's all about you. Your thoughts are, I don't like, I am not happy, I can't do it, I am worthless, I, me. That is another form of narcissism and for another video lately. But the news that I'm going to give you today is going to even help those people, those who are more chronically depressed than narcissists, learn how to pull themselves out of that and quit focusing on themselves so much. If we can take the focus off of us and start putting it on others and other things, the depression you will find really will lift you. Granted, like I said in other videos, there are those that are chemically imbalanced that do need extra help. It can still help you. You can be happier. You can have a better mentality. So, most people tend to think of narcissist as someone who is in love with themselves, called the grandiose narcissist. And I personally know one of those people. They're a little bit easier to deal with than the opposite kind of narcissist. A narcissist is actually quite vulnerable. Don't think that they're very lovable as they are, so they have to put on this grand persona. They might even tend to lie, tend to sabotage other people's ideas or what they're saying so that they can make themselves feel like they're here and that the other person's here, or convince everyone around them that they're here and the other person's here. Most of that is built on bad thoughts, wrong feelings and attitudes, a wrong way of thinking. So if you can look at the narcissist as someone who is vulnerable, I think here's a good analogy. A narcissist has to be so strong out here, in appearance-wise, that they don't have the ability to be strong in here. They're very weak, very fragile, very vulnerable on the inside. And I think that that is one big chink in their armor. One way, if you can look at them as a more vulnerable person who is more fragile, maybe you can be a little bit more empathetic towards them and a little more willing to tolerate some of their antics and things that they do, and maybe even be willing to help build them up a little bit. What is that first sign of a narcissist? Entitlement. The world owes them even though they've not done anything to earn it. And they are superior to everyone and everybody. Again, a lot of times it's a facade. But they definitely have a spirit of entitlement, and they definitely don't want to work too hard to get what they can from everybody else. They often live on the coattails of other people, even on the successes of other people. This kind of narcissist always has to one-up. You can tell a story, they have a story that's actually better than yours or more than yours. And don't think that a narcissist has to be the best at everything. There are a lot of narcissists out there who want to be and thrive at being the best worst. You could have done something bad, but they've done something horrible. They pride themselves on being the best worst, if that makes sense. Another trait of a narcissist, they have to have attention at all times. And I will give y'all a story related to that. My son has freely admitted that when he is in a relationship, if that girl goes and takes a shower and is not giving him attention 100% of the time, he is going to feel lost, off, not okay. He does not like it. He cannot deal with it. If all of her attention, all of it, is not on him 100% of the time, including on their children that they might have. He wants that attention from her 100%, 100% of the time. If y'all don't know already, he's definitely a narcissist. I would consider him a malignant narcissist who tends toward the fragile and vulnerable side. But he's definitely malignant. He does not see reality the rest of the way that the world sees it. And Josh, I love you. I know you're going to see this because you edit my videos, but you know it's true. We've had a talk. And, you know, there's help. There's absolute help. But you have to be willing to feed that good wolf. A narcissist is a conversation hoarder. They're also a conversation interrupter. And I think that we all know one or two of these. And it's not like someone's saying something and you get an idea and you're so excited and you can't wait and you burst forth with information and interrupt. Again, I think we all do that. And maybe that is a touch of narcissism in all of us. But it's a person who has to be the center of the conversation. The conversation, they either have to be holding it or it has to be about them. And if it's not, they're going to interrupt and make it about them or try to pull that conversation back around them. Okay, so a narcissist loves breaking all the rules and all the norms and will brag about getting away with it. I know someone like that who's sitting next to me right now. Everybody say hello to my dad. You can't see him, but he's right there, and he's looking a little sheepish right now. I'm not even happy that I pointed that out. But he does. He loves breaking the rules and, yeah, getting away with it. He loves it, and so does my son, come to think of it. But anyway. So, a narcissist is usually very charming. And we're more on the scale of the grandiose narcissist. But there are other types of narcissists that are very charming. And for those narcissists that aren't very charming, I'm sorry, you're kind of screwed. But most narcissists are very charming. They've learned how to work people, how to manipulate, and they use this charm to get by. They can do very bad things. They can not fit the norms. They can break the rules. They can say things, do things, but their charm gets them by. They can a lot of times be very likable people outside of these other really horrible things that's very hard to tolerate. If they're extremely charming, they can get away with a ton more. And that's what a narcissist is all about. Getting from you and from society everything that they can. Many of them are like leeches. And I would say I don't mean that in a bad way, but I don't know any other way that it could be. So they have to be charming in order to get by. Or, you know, what do I know? Maybe the charming and the narcissism goes hand in hand. Maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know everything. So a narcissist loves starting trouble, stirring the pot, getting people upset. And they love spreading negativity. Drama creators, and they love it. Just try to stay away. If you're not already loving one, if you're not already living one and totally devoted, just stay away. Stay away. My son, here's another trait. My son calls himself a master manipulator. And he is, for those who don't know him very well. But if you know him very well, you know what's up, and you're like, One of the things that I like to say to him before we start a real conversation is, Josh, you know that I love you, and he's my child. For those of you who have children, you know how much you love your child. But until I have proof that what you're saying is a fact, I have to take it as a lie. Because he would rather tell you that the sky is green just because he can. He prides himself on being a master manipulator. So most narcissists love to manipulate in order to, one, because they can, two, to stir the pot, three, to control, four, to get out of you whatever it is that they're seeking, even if it's a little rise or feather ruffling. They love to ruffle the feathers. Is they're seldom satisfied and usually full of complaints. Usually. Not always. So what I said a moment ago leads me to my next trait. A narcissist needs to control everybody and everything. Even the itty bitty small little things. They cannot deal with not having control. And they're usually considered perfectionists. They must control. And they're very uncomfortable if they can't do that. So that malignant narcissist is not going to take any responsibility for any of this. They're not. You can point it out. You can have proof with the camera, with the recording. You did say this and you did do this on this certain day. Now, they may admit it if they feel like they're about to lose you in order to keep you. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to resort to gaslighting. What did you do to cause it? What did you say that might have affected it? You're crazy. I love that one. You're crazy. They try to make you feel like the one. Don't fall for the gaslighting. Don't let them turn it around on you. I think a better way to handle that would be, if you're in love with one, if you're living with one, and they try to turn it around on you, I'm sorry that you feel like I'm lying. I'm sorry that you feel that way. You're apologizing to them, but you're letting them know that you're not the crazy one. You recognize what they're trying to do, and you're simply not going to have it. Okay. So sometimes a person will call another person a narcissist when in fact they are the narcissist. And that's a form of gaslighting as well. They're trying to project themselves onto you and make you think that it's you who has the problem and not them. Most all narcissists do this. Don't fall for it. I know too many people who's been affected so negatively by a narcissist that they begin to question their own sanity. And that is so sad to me, so sad. But I do want you to question if you might be a narcissist. That's one of the reasons I'm making this video. One is so if you are seeing yourself in some of this stuff, there is something you can do to pull yourself out of that. So what I was talking about, those people that suffer from depression or constantly find themselves in a down mood, who are constantly sick. Those who are constantly sick, a lot of them are attention seeking. They may even be well, but don't know it because they fed themselves these lies and they crave that attention. Even though it's not good, it's not positive, it's a form of narcissism. So, what's the first thing you can do if you're dealing with a narcissist? First, like I said, don't buy into their lies. Don't buy into the gaslighting. This list should be able to help you to recognize what you're dealing with. Next, realize that most narcissists have no empathy. You cannot change them because they're not empathetic to what you're feeling. They can feel, I don't know if I want to say guilt or shame, usually that they've been caught, though they're not going to admit it. But it's not about your feelings, I promise. A narcissist is not often capable of being able to know or feel what someone else is feeling. They're all about themselves. They're not going to care about you. They may appear like they care about you in order to get from you what they are needing. But that's why they're there. And that's why you're there. Because they can get from you whatever it is. You're feeding them. But they don't have empathy. So that leads me to my first recommendation for those who might see themselves as what I've been describing. So a narcissist has no empathy. I want you to put yourself out there. I want you to purposely start considering what others around you are thinking and feeling. I want you to try to resonate with them. Ask them how they're feeling, what they're thinking, so that you can start considering other people's feelings. The first step towards empathizing is considering that this other person is feeling this way, and then act on it. If they're feeling down, if they're needing something, do something to be a good person. Serve them. Serve people in your community. Serve the poor, the downtrodden, the abused animals. Serve, 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 serve. And the more you serve, the more you're going to start being in tune with other people's needs, which is going to make you more in tune to their emotions and their feelings, which will develop empathy. Yes, you can develop empathy. That's good news, isn't it? That's how I know, even though, I mean, honestly, I've been guilty probably of most all of this stuff at some point in my life, you know, one time or another. But I do have great empathy for others. Okay, which leads me to my next bit of advice for the person dealing with a narcissist. Are you deeply invested in this person? Are you married to this person? Are they your child? No? Good. Good for you. Now, try to stay away from them. Try to avoid them at all costs. Now, I know that some of you are dealing with them at work. At least it's only a few hours a day, a lot of hours a day. And I do have some suggestions for that as well. Okay, my next bit of advice. Don't play their game. This breaks down a narcissist and shuts them down faster than anything else. They want you to play their game. That's who they are. And if you don't play, they can't win. And trust me, you will never win. You will never win. If you think that you will win, or that there's some possibility of you being able to change them because you're smarter than they are, or you know now, okay, you're being a bit narcissistic yourself. You can't. You simply can't. Forget about that. Don't play their game. So what else can you do? Realize you're right about them and move on. You're likely not ever going to convince them. Hopefully they see my video and recognize themselves in it and will do something. There are plenty of therapists out there who specialize in this, and they can help them. There is help. But this, in my opinion, is the most difficult, should we call it a psychosis? I don't know. But this is definitely the most difficult mentality to deal with in the world of psychology and mental health. Okay, so like I said at the beginning of the video, recognize that they're coming from a point of weakness and vulnerability. If you can do that, and don't empathize with them too much, but you can empathize with them some, go ahead and give them a little bit of glory, a pat on the back, tell them how beautiful they are, offer to get in a selfie with them. What did I hear it called? Narcissist selfie? Yeah, I don't know. But offer to take their selfie for them. Tell them how wonderful they are. Tell them how much smarter they are than you. What's it going to hurt? Seriously. Like I said, you already know the truth. What's it going to hurt to give them a little bit? There is something on the inside that is weak and fragile, and they're needing something. It's just I don't know of any human being on this planet that can give them exactly what they need, especially to a person who is, I'm not going to say not capable of empathy, because they're capable. They have to work at it. But that does not empathize with other human beings. That is of the extreme selfishness. I'm not going to say what I was about to say. But we know some people throughout history who has obviously had no empathy with other human beings, and it just does not end well. Finally, try to remain calm. or at least appear that you're calm. Narcissists want to ruffle your feathers. They want to get at you. They want to control you. Don't let them think that you're perturbed or distressed or anything at all. Easier said than done. But the more that you can keep your calm, the more that you're going to diffuse them. You're going to take their weapons away because they're not going to know what to do to be able to get that rise from you. And yes, they will continue to try over and over and over and over. But it does diffuse them some. They eventually will run out of weapons and hopefully leave you alone. Or at least realize that you're not falling for their BS. So that is all I have to say today on narcissism, except for that if you are married to one, if you are one, if your child is one, I empathize with you. I absolutely do. I know how it feels and I know how devastating it can be. My thoughts and my prayers are with you. They truly, truly are. And I hope that what I've given you today and in my past videos is going to allow you to bring out some of your badass unicorn and gain more control over your life. Thank y'all for watching. Till next time.
That is one badass unicorn.